thank you all so much, Senator. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. It's awesome. Thank you. Let's hear it for the Senator. I want to thank all of you for being here. There's lots of places you could be on a Wednesday afternoon, and I just want to thank you all for investing some time to get to know what this campaign's up to. But I also want to share with you that the Senator and I have been friends for quite a while. We first met at a conference. We ended up at the end of a table after a dinner talking about the future of America and what was going right and what was going wrong. And I said to myself, I've just met a great friend. But I also knew that you could never know the full measure of a man until you meet his wife. And then I met Heidi. Heidi's special. Heidi is special. She's not only just absolutely lovely, but you never want to get on the other side of a negotiation with Heidi. Whether you're negotiating a business deal or, Senator, I know when you guys are negotiating who's going to take the trash out. I think you've never won that negotiation, have you? Never. We actually got to know the Cruzes very well. We've been on vacations together, and we like to spend 4th of July together. And one of the things that we like to do is actually, we have this play pigeon game we play called Annie Oakley. Anybody's played it? This way Annie Oakley works. You got 5 people lined up, and you let go of play, and if the first guy hits it great, but he misses it, and the second person hits it, then that person's out. So I said to the Senator, let's play Annie Oakley. And he said, well, I don't really know, I don't know. And I said, all right, come on, you're from Texas, let's figure this out. And there was another guy playing with us, and that guy cared deeply about winning. And so we get through this game, and I look over, and it's me and this other guy cares deeply about winning, and the Senator. And I call a play, and I miss it. That happens every now and then. I call a play, and I miss it, and the other guy missed it, and then the Senator, this play was a mile away, and he just cracks it immediately. And he looks at it and says, I guess I win. It's not your first rodeo, Senator. It's not your first rodeo. But Senator, I just want to thank you for being a warrior. For being a warrior for conservative views, conservative stance. We need you. Thank you. Washington is tough, tough, tough. We need you there. Folks, and Richmond is showing the exact same signs as Washington, but we've been showing it for longer. And folks, we need warriors like Senator Cruz here in Richmond. Because guess what? I don't recognize our Commonwealth, and I want to get it back. So folks, in case you didn't know, my name is Glenn Youngkin, and I'm running for governor. This is what we're doing. Virginian. I was born in a little part of Richmond called Bon Air. My mother used to call Bon Air the other side of the river in all respects. In 7th grade, my dad lost his job. That happens in families, and we came together as a family. We moved down to Virginia Beach, and that's where I went to junior high school and high school. And I learned a lot during that time period. One of the things I learned was how to work hard. I got a job when I was 15, and the big lesson is that there's dignity in work. There's dignity in work. It's never left me. Never, ever left me. I had the great privilege of going to Texas and playing basketball, and 2 great things happened to me in Texas. First, I got a spectacular education. I'm a mechanical engineer by training, but the most important thing that happened to me in Texas is the Lord took amazing pity on me, and He introduced me to Suzanne, my lovely wife. Now, what He knew is that I needed her a lot more than she needed me. She actually brought me faith. And I'll be forever grateful for you for that. Not only are you my life partner, but you introduced me to Jesus and He saved me. So 27 years ago, we came back to Northam, Virginia to build our home and our family. That's when you all get to say, I'm sorry together. Northern Virginia is different today than it was 27 years ago. But we've had a really blessed life. And we have 4 great kids. My oldest son, Grant's here. Your oldest son, Grant's here. church is the center of our family, and then I got this job at a small company called the Carlisle Group, and it grew to be a big company. I had the great privilege to run it. And I thought that was my dream job. And then last summer I had a conviction over my heart like I've never ever felt before in anything, except my faith and my marriage. And I asked Suzanne if she'd go for a walk with me, and I looked at her and I said, Susie, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow, and I'm going to go run for governor. And she looked at me with big crocodile tears in her eyes and said, are you having a midlife crisis? Can't you buy a car? I said, no, I'm having a Virginia crisis. And it's the same crisis we're all having. This great Commonwealth, which was the best place in America to live and work and raise a family for so long, she's in the ditch. The Democrats have put her there. In that moment, we prayed over it, we cried a bit, and then we committed ourselves to go to work with all of you to get her out. I didn't have a Facebook account, I didn't have a Twitter account, and by the way, life was pretty good without it. And here we are heading into Saturday. And we have a huge amount of momentum, just a huge amount of momentum. And Senator, I just want to thank you for your amazing endorsement. It just means the world to me. I'm humbled by it. Virginians all over this great Commonwealth. I mean, we've traveled 22,000 miles in 14 weeks. We've met tens of thousands of Virginians. And what I've heard over and over again is the reality. Glenn, we must win. We will win. And then something humbling happens, and they say, Glenn, we're for you. And folks, I hope you all understand how humbling that is. What a great responsibility I feel, but also how encouraged I feel by that. Because guess what? We will win. We will win. When I have the great privilege of going to work for all of you as your governor, and I want to say that again very clearly, this is not a mansion to be won or a title to be had. This is a job that needs to be done. And you're going to hire me to go work for you. That's the way I view it. Going to work for all of you. We are going to get this great Commonwealth of Virginia open again. Day one, businesses open, churches open, schools open. Day one. So we're going to revitalize, we're going to reignite, we're going to rebuild this economy like you've never seen before. The Democrats have been telling us untruths for a long time. Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam went to a different school than I went to. They went to one where you can tell people untruths and they'll believe you. That's not where I went to school. I'm telling you, the business community in Virginia has been lagging for 8 years. Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Maryland. They've been kicking our rears for 8 years. Their economies have been growing faster. They've been creating more jobs. And yet our cost of living is higher. And friends, what that translates to is Virginians moving away. For the last few years, more Virginians have moved away than people from the other 49 states have moved here. And guess where they're going? Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas is where they're going. Better job opportunities, a lower cost of living, and absent North Carolina, Republican governors. They're going for values too, folks. But this is a moment where we can put a stop to this. This is a canary in the coal mine for all of us. We can't shrink our way to prosperity. We can fix this. But elections have consequences. And for Virginians, the consequences for 8 years have been crushing. They've been crushing. When I have the great privilege of going to work for all of you as your governor, we're going to stand up for our constitutional rights like never before because they have been encroached upon like never before. I don't know how all of you felt, but when this governor opened up massage parlors and ABC stores and kept my church closed, I knew he didn't start out every morning like I did. Our kids are afraid in our public schools and our colleges to actually espouse a conservative view or religious view, not just for fear of a bad grade, but for fear of retribution. And big tech continues to try to cancel us and censor what we read. Folks, let me be really clear here. When I'm working for you as your governor, I will stand up for our First Amendment rights. I will find big tech. They better bring their checkbook, because Virginia's not going to let that happen anymore. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. I know exactly what it means. I know exactly what it means for the people to have a right, not a piece of paper that gives it to us, but for the people to have the right to keep and bear arms, and we will stand up and protect our Second Amendment rights from Richmond and Washington. Friends, I'm pro-life. And what this governor has done is unforgivable. To espouse that a child should be born, a child who was actually created in the image of God. And then we're going to decide whether that child lives or dies. Friends, this is not Virginia. This is not our values. When I'm your governor, we will stand up for the unborn together. Together, because if not us, I don't know who will. I don't know who will. And I have the great privilege of going to work for all of you as your governor. Our law enforcement heroes will know that their governor has their back, because I know they have ours. They will be funded, not defunded. They will be celebrated, not demoralized. And qualified immunity is not going anywhere when I'm your governor. When I have the great privilege of going to work for all of you as your governor, our children in public schools will never be damaged like they have before with their schools being closed. Friends, they have been absolutely academically damaged, emotionally damaged. Families have been pulled apart, and yet study after study after study tells us that they should be in school. And this governor has done nothing. He has done nothing. Day one, schools open, but it doesn't stop there. We have to press forward with school choice and charter schools. Virginia's kids are already losing out. Virginia has 8 charter schools. North Carolina has 190. West Virginia has already passed education savings accounts, basically a voucher. Their families can choose if they want their child to go to their local public school, a charter school, a private school, or even homeschool. Friends, Virginia's kids' destiny should not be dictated by their zip code. We must press forward with school choice. The work starts on day one, and where it starts is with curriculum. That's where it starts. So let me just tell you right here, right now, we will not teach critical race theory in our schools. How about this for a shocker? We will teach accelerated math. We will award advanced diplomas for those that earn them. And we teach that the 4th of July and the Pledge of Allegiance unite us as Americans. When I had the great privilege of going to work for all of you as your governor, we're going to make Virginia the most military-friendly state in America. Nothing frustrates me more than when I drive from Virginia to North Carolina and I see a sign that says, "Welcome to North Carolina, the most military-friendly state in America." Folks, what I'm going to do is actually personally go pick up that sign, turn it around, plant it ready for that. Finally, we're going to press forward with election reforms immediately. We must reform our election process. And friends, this is not a Republican issue. We all know it. And it's not a Democrat issue, although Hillary complained like crazy when she lost. They stole the election from her. 42% of Democrats agree. This is a democracy issue. The bedrock of our great country is casting the ballot and trusting it'll be counted fairly, and the people we, the people elect, will go represent us in government. And so right out of the box, right out of the box, we put forth a 5-step plan. Not 10, not 15, not 25 common sense steps. Number 1, the Department of Elections should be made independent and transparent. Number 2, if you've sadly died or sadly moved away, every 30 days the voter rolls are going to be updated and you're not allowed to vote in Virginia. Number 3, when you show up to vote, you will bring a state-issued photo ID. To get a library card. You need one to vote. Number 4, if you need a mail-in ballot, prove you're a citizen with your Social Security number, and when it comes back, there'll be 2 signatures. Yours plus someone who says that's you. We're going to make sure these are valid mail-in ballots. And finally, the voting machines are going to be tested before and audited within 30 days. And it's going to be made public so that everybody can see that's happened. We are not going to have questions about our election process. We're going to restore our faith in it. Folks, and I have met with so many Republicans, but I've also met with lots of other folks. And whether I am in a libertarian breakfast or a Tea Party lunch, or with a group of forever Trumpers or a smaller group of never Trumpers, or with folks that are single-issue voters, life, Second Amendment, or even with independents and Democrats, what I hear over and over again is, "Glenn, we cannot afford a 3rd term of the McAuliffe-Northam administration. Virginia can't take it. And Glenn, we're for you, and you can win." And folks, with that in mind, with Glenn Youngkin at the top of the ticket, we are going to win in November, but it's not just me. We're going to bring along a spectacular Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General. Please get to know these folks. We have great candidates. But it's not going to stop there. We're also going to bring along at least 6 new members to our House of Delegates. And we are going to take back our House of Delegates, which is where all this nonsense started. But then the fun starts, because in 2022, I'm now working for you as your governor. And we're going to get this great Commonwealth moving like never before, putting her back as the best state in America to live and work and raise a family. But I also then get to campaign as the Republican governor of Virginia. We have not had a statewide Republican leader in a long time. I get to plant signs and knock doors and raise money and hold rallies for Republican candidates all over Virginia. And I have my eye on a couple of really important seats, especially the 7th and the 2nd congressional districts. Folks, we win those 2, and we get to send a majority Republican delegation to Congress. Now then it gets exciting, because when we send 2 more Republicans, and the other 49 states send 3, and you're sitting there saying, "Wait a minute, Glenn, we're doing all the heavy lifting." And I'm saying, yes, that's what Virginians do. We've been doing it from the very beginning in this great country. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. And George Washington led us to independence. And James Madison wrote the Constitution. And Patrick Henry stood up and he said, without a Bill of Rights, we will not ratify that Constitution. Here, use Virginia's. My friend George Mason wrote it. That's exactly what happened, folks. We've been doing the heavy lifting for this great country from the beginning. And here we go again. Because with our 2 and 3 more from the rest of the country, we take back our House of Representatives and we send Nancy back to California. And then in 2023, we take back our state Senate. And there's going to be a hush that's going to go across the country. And people are going to say, what happened in Virginia? I thought Virginia was blue. And we're going to say no. Our shared values brought us together like never before. And together, we changed the future of this great Commonwealth and of this great country. Friends, this is why I get out of bed every morning. This is why I quit my job last summer. This is why my lovely wife Suzanne and I and our kids are working so hard. But this is not about me. This is about us. All of us. I cannot do this without you. I need you. All of you. And the first step on this bus ride is Saturday. At this convention, I'd ask 3 things, please. First, show up and vote. Please show up and vote. Republicans have come together in this convention like never before. 50,000 people registered, more than 3 times have ever participated in a convention before. Do you feel what's going on? Second of all, get there early. And then come together as a community and help each other out. The lines are going to be long. It could be hot. And help each other vote. And then finally, I'd humbly ask you to consider putting me as your top choice for governor. And with a great lieutenant governor and a great attorney general, we are going to sweep the statewide offices in November. We are going to take our Commonwealth back. And friends, I cannot wait to go work for all of you as your next governor. Thank you very much.